Reliving the magic. 1600 WWRL.
Hank Spann is with us. Frankie Crocker is with us. And Chuck Jackson. Legends all in their own time. That's one of the things that I really appreciate. These are the living legends in a very real sense. Eddie O.J. with us as well. And Chuck Jackson about to leave us. We kept him a couple of minutes extra. But I want you to know that we really appreciate you coming out and being in the house, as they say.
Thank you, Mr. Law.
If you like what you're hearing today, you should listen to WWRL every day. We do this every single day, reliving the magic with 100% pure soul.
Yes.
Chuck Jackson. Thank you again for coming out.
Thank you so much. I want to shake your hand.
All right.
Frankie?
Chuck, hit that ball long and straight, man. I see you out there.
Oh, you and I got to play. Orange juice? I'll see you later.
All right, my man.
God bless. Thank you, Bob.
All right now. It's WWRL Legacy Day. My name is Bob Law, and the legends are here all day long because it is that kind of energy. You stay close to your radio. As Frankie Crocker says, if Frankie Crocker's not on your radio, then your radio is not really on. And it is as true today as it was the first time you said it. Hank Spann is also joining us, and the Soul Server, as a matter of fact.
Hey, now.
And hey, there you go. There you go. You can, you want to say hello? You can do so. You want to say hello to Frankie Crocker? You want to say hello to Hank Spann? They're both on your phone. It's 718-899-7711. You need to call me right now. The lines are clear for anybody who wants to say hello. 718-899-7711. Frankie, you were about to speak.
Have you asked any of the guys what they're doing now, like what Hank is doing? Some of the people might want to know.
Hank.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Currently, I'm at Billboard Magazine.
Out on the West Coast.
Yes, on the West
We want
Coast.
to point that out. Hank Spann lives with summertime all year round.
Actually, I live in Las Vegas.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not summertime. It's hot.
You can't go. I went to Las Vegas once and stepped outdoors.
But Hank, you were vice president one time at a record company, Warner Brothers Record.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to be at Billboard because it's like you can't get away from music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I spent just about 8 years at Warner Brothers as vice president of marketing and promotions with my boy Ray Harris, Ernie Singleton, another legend from New Orleans radio. And, we had fun. We interfaced with a lot of great artists, Prince, Al B. Sure, my man Big Daddy Kane, all those kinds of people that we had over there, Keith Washington, and a number of great artists.
Was Shaka there while you were there too?
Yeah, Shaka came in. Shaka actually did her last album, not this one that she has out now. She did her first album in a number of years with us, and it was a great opportunity to interface with these people. You know, sit down talking to Prince and Frankie Beverly and Maze. You know, I can't forget Frankie. Being able to get Frankie Beverly to actually take his music and put a rap on it was something I consider one of my greatest achievements because Frankie don't play that. And when he did Laid Back Girl, the little rap on there, you know, we thought we had to, put him in the new mix a little bit, But it's been interesting. Spent a lot of time at Warner Brothers and Reprise Records and started as a regional general manager at
worked your way up.
Down in
because I didn't hear what Eddie was doing now. I didn't hear what Jeff Troy was doing now. I know Eddie was always he had a answering service.
Yeah, he talked about that. He still has the answering service, and I believe he's doing a kind of a blues show on the weekends now down in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
But Frankie, what are you doing?
I'm hanging out here with you.
Yeah.
The last year, people here in New York know I was at WBLS. I'm not with them anymore, but I have 12 formats on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something new. I'm working now to. It's a new medium that we're going into, and I'm in negotiations now with some people to sell records through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you hear, you can push a button, you can buy it, secured credit card, and it'll get to you the next day. So you can get it right like that, and it's brand new. I much feel like this when I first started FM.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said, "You crazy going to FM," because FM means forget money. AM meant all the money.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy gave me a shot at LIB-FM. At the time, the Noviks owned it. And they said, "You do whatever you want." And I was so disillusioned with the way radio was going at that time, the color lines, the different categories, and I just started playing everything that I thought was good. And VLS was born. So I'm doing that again. I got a couple other things happening, possibly, hopefully, get a chance to program again in New York and do it that way. But I don't want to ever be bitter, but I'm angry. Manager wasn't really too good, and did a lot of things that were detrimental to what was happening, and you get into that. But I will never. People want me, and they ask me to write a book or to talk about things. I will never, ever say anything bad about any of the people I've worked with, because it has allowed me to live very well.
And there were a lot of good times.
There's a lot of good times. A lot of things happen, and that's the way life is. And it happens, and you have to go through it. So I brewed a little bit because I didn't really get the chance to do what I wanted to do the last time around. But maybe it'll happen again.
You can say hello to Frankie Crocker. You can say hello to Hank Spann. The phone number here is 718-899-7711. Hello.
Yes, this is William driving down on Flatbush Avenue, and I just wanted to commend Frankie Crocker and Hank Spann, because I grew up listening to you guys, and I'm 45 years of age, so I'm really back in the day. And I want to also say that Frankie Crocker, with the clarity of the payola thing, because that's something that's been somewhat of a misconception in African-American radio. And also because of the fact that people don't realize that Alan Freed, who, of course, for many, many years was caught up in that and was never really recovered from that again. I'm in total appreciation of both of you, and I just wanted to say that to both of you.
Well, thank you very much, man.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to get into it, as I said, with Eddie and talk to you about it. There's just some names that you can't say because some of the people are still alive.
I understand.
There is a person that who just celebrated a milestone, and it was all over the TV. And if you'll check out, if you go into it and do your homework, and you look at some of those early rock and rollers and some of their publishing, you'll find out who owned it, and you come to your own conclusions.
Yeah, I think it's very important, too, that these things be written down. We're so busy with oral interpretation. It's very important to write these things down.
All right now.
Okay.
Take care of
Okay, now,
yourself. Bye
keep listening to WWRL.
All right.
Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon.
How are you, sir? Who's this?
This is Kareem Ali from New York. I used to go to school next door for 1 year in 1969 when, may she rest in peace, Sister Alma John used to educate me on our history and running, get coffee and stuff for Gary Berg and Al G when they was there, and Jeffrey Troy.
You went to the school next door to RL?
Yeah.
It's still right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember James Brown had came in and was talking about him buying the station, or trying to buy the station.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Listen, I want to ask Eddie O.J. a question.
Eddie O.J. is not here.
Oh, he left?
Just Hank Spann and Frankie Crocker in the studio with me right now.
Okay, does anybody know what happened to Al Granum?
Al Granum might be here later on this afternoon.
All right, because to me, he was the original poet or rapper.
That's what he said.
Yes, sir.
Well, keep listening to your radio, because we did talk to Al Granum, and he might very well be here this afternoon.
And I'm recording this, but would you have any tapes available for public?
I don't know. See, there's so many people here
Yes, sir.
that we can't, we can't own all of this.
Okay.
I'd have to work out a royalty deal with Frankie, Hank, Bobby, Gary. It's better just not to tape it.
Okay, then.
All right.
All right, y'all have a nice day.
All right,
then.
then.
Thank you.
All right. You can join us as promised at 718-899-7711. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm just calling, this is an old friend, colleague of some of the guys there, Frankie Crocker, Eddie O.J., Hank Spann there.
What's your name?
Who's this, Mr. Law?
This is Bob Law, but everybody's on the line.
This is Bob. Oh, I'm on the air, Bob?
Yes.
I didn't mean for it to go on the air, but this is J.D., man. I want to take my hats off to you and know you're doing well and kicking, man. It's really a pleasure to listen to you. I got you on my band out here. I got you on their air.
Good. You want to say hello to Frankie?
Yeah, all of you guys. That's
Hey,
want to say
J.D.
hello to all you guys. I'm glad they know you're well and kicking, man.
Thank you, man.
We're still hanging in here.
All right.
Good to hear your voice, my brother.
Thank you, Eddie.
That's Hank.
Oh, Hank, hey, man. Okay, good. I just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know I'm still around.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Doing my act, and y'all take care and stay strong, man.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
All
bye-bye.
right. Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is George Ward. I'm calling from Brooklyn. And it's nice to have this anniversary, but get back to Frankie Crocker doing those errands with that hot coffee or hot tea or whatever. I think it was Joe Bostic Sr. that was sending you across.
No.
Joe Bostic Jr.?
No. It wasn't here in New York. It was up in Buffalo.
Oh, see, well, you didn't clarify that.
I know. I when I started saying it.
Yeah, when you were sleeping in the lobby and
No, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about that. And I got a couple of things I'm going to do. I only got another hour here, and I got a lot of stuff to do. But as soon as we can get a little bit of time here, I'm going to go over all that and clear it up.
You left yourself a little wide open there.
All right.
Saying I was running errands for the brothers here in the RL, and I said, well,
No.
it must have been Joe Foxx Sr.
No.
All right, we appreciate you calling us. Nonetheless, you can say hello to Frankie Crocker, Hank Spann, the Soul Server. But now, both of you had those names. Frankie, you were the Love Man.
I was a Love Man. I was Soul Brother Number Young. I was Soul Finger.
00 Soul?
I was in the 16. And here I was Soul Brother Number Young.
Okay.
Because of the Sweet 16 Soul Brothers. And that's something that I took from, there was two major stations. ABC was on the air, and it was very big. And then there was, I later worked for WMCA. ABC was the All-Americans. MCA were the good guys. And that was a time when Soul Brothers, what we were calling each other. So I said, hey, let's call each other the Soul Brothers. So we're the Sweet 1600 Soul Brothers. But how I started working here, and I want to get that in, is that I knew Eddie O'J went to New York. And when I got out of school, I left Buffalo, and I got a job in Pittsburgh from Sonny Jim, who was from Pittsburgh. And I wanted to do something on my own to see how I could go out and do my own. So I went to Pittsburgh and went to a convention in Chicago and saw the DJs. When I say the DJs, I meant the New York DJs. I saw the other DJs from around the country, but I saw the New York DJs. They were all dressed immaculately, all beautiful women at their table, and they were having a good time. Everybody was smiling, everybody was good looking, and I said, I looked at the DJs, the rest of the country, I looked at the DJs from New York, and I said, I gotta go to New York. This is where I wanna go. I left my job in Pittsburgh, told me I had to go home for an emergency, drove 8 hours down to New York, saw Eddie, who was working here, met Rocky G. He sent me in with Rocky Bridges, who's still here, to go in and do an audition. I went in and do an audition. Rocky, the production guy, said, hey, he can do it, the kid can do it. So they tried to hire me, but Frank Ward wouldn't hire me because of my age. I was just too young. He wanted somebody more mature, somebody who had more experience on the air. So Eddie and another guy played sick, and so they were 2 men short, and they needed somebody to go on the air. So Rocky didn't want to work anymore, so he said, hey, Eddie's sick, why don't you go in and do it? I came in and did a radio program, and that's the way I got the job. He still didn't want to hire me. I had no place to go, so I camped in the lobby to get the job here because I really wanted to work here. So that's the way it started, and Rocky had me working part-time, had me working with him. And like I said, when I learned radio, I knew how to do just about everything because I had to. You know, that's the only way you can get hired then.
Hank Spann, I know that you were, probably we can say these names, y'all are still known by these names, but one of the names, of course, was the Soul Server.
The Soul Server was an interesting name. I think that came about from a good friend of Frankie and myself, Mr. Larry McKinley, where I started radio while I was going to Dillard University on a part-time basis, working on a Sunday night. I got an opportunity to do that. I don't know where it came from. Just one year I came back to school and started spinning records for all the fraternity and sorority functions, you know, because I started with my frat Kappa Alpha Psi. You know, I started spinning for all our functions. I don't know, it was like a transformation happened. Overnight, all of a sudden, I became a DJ and a host and an MC, you know, and I started doing everything at college and got this shot over at WBOK to work on Sunday nights. And, you know, from there, man, it's just really mushroomed. I owe a lot of credit and a lot of thanks and props go out to my brother Larry McKinley, Rick Roberts, who were like my mentors and brought me into the process. I actually went on to teach school for a year and do the radio on the side. And I tell you, the difference in terms of how I got respect from the students at Carver High School was all predicated on the fact that I was on the radio. Had I not been on the radio, I would have just been another teacher, and I'd have had to have one of them paddles in my hand all the time. But, you know, after that first year of school and then having a whole year working part-time and being involved in different things, and got a chance to work that following summer as a vacation replacement. And so I worked all the shifts and got to really know it and start hanging out at this place called Mason's, where all the record cats came in, and I started seeing all the things that were going on. And like Frankie said, you know, there was a certain kind of an image that made you react, and I kind of like that stuff.
I know. So I haven't even begun to tell my stories. I know indeed.
I'd like that.
Yeah. I'm Bob Law. Frankie Crocker is here with us live, in person, a living legend. Hank Spann with us live on the telephones, as a matter of fact. And Hank, again, good to have you in the house with us as well. I'm going to give New Yorkers a chance to say hello. You can talk to Hank Spann. You can talk to Frankie Crocker at 718-899-7711. Crystal Holmes, hello.
Hi, how are
See,
you?
we have taken over everybody's show. They don't know they're allowed to
I
talk.
didn't even know I was supposed to talk. How you doing?
How you doing?
This is fabulous. This
You
is
want to say hello to
fantastic.
Hank Span?
Hi, Mr. Span. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm actually in heaven, actually, you know. I'm the only woman that gets to come to work and have all these wonderful men and work with them. And
Have mercy.
Isn't that something? So I thank God I must have done something right in life, huh?
Have mercy.
This is really an honor for me. It
Want to say
really
hello
is.
to Frankie Crocker?
Hi, Mr. Crocker.
Hey, gorgeous. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah,
It's good for us over here, too.
Hear him say, Mr. Span. Mr. Crocker.
I have to give them their respect
There
and
you
their
go.
fathers, you know? It's all nothing but respect to these guys.
Yeah.
You know, they're legends.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe someday somebody call me Miss Holmes.
Any day now.
Any day now.
Miss Holmes, we're going to have a good time. You just hang in there.
I will.
You know, before when the guy that just left, I'm trying to remember his name, Finner.
Jerry Finner.
Jerry Finner,
Yeah.
he didn't get 2 pieces. A lot of people think, because I used to say, if Frankie Crocker isn't on your radio isn't be on. And something else that I said on this, I know what they said. I used to say, you don't eat chicken on Sunday. And what that meant, if you had a hole in your soul and you don't eat chicken on Sunday. When I grew up, that's what it was. It's called a gospel bird.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have chicken was something that you'd have every Sunday. So, I mean, if you weren't soulful, that meant, if you didn't have chicken on Sunday, you weren't soulful. Now, they say 3 pieces. I happen to be in a club, Millie Jackson. Anybody familiar with Millie Jackson's work knows she can be a little bit risque. So she was doing a live recording at a club in L.A., and I happened to be out there and in the club, and the Pointer Sisters were there, and I think Eddie Fisher happened to be there, who was, I guess, a former husband and a singer, too. He just happened to be there. So people were telling Millie, who was in the audience, he says, the Pointer Sisters in the audience. Everybody said, yeah. He said, somebody said that Eddie Fisher's in the house. He used to be married to Elizabeth Taylor. He's so fine, I want to give him some. And that's what it said. He said, yeah, I give him. In fact, I give him 2 pieces. And somebody said, Frankie Crocker. She said, if Frankie Crocker's in the house, he can get 3 pieces. So I was telling him, watch what you say when you say get those pieces. I did it as nice as I could without being explicit.
There you go.
And that's where it came from. So when you hear that on the radio and you heard it say, Frankie Crocker's in the house, he can get 3 pieces. I took that right off the album, and that's what she was talking about. She hadn't seen me in a long time. She was talking about how it was hard to get her records played, and she might have to go out and give something to a disc jockey. Mm-hmm. And she was being Millie, and that's what she was joking, of course. She said, I might have to a piece to him to play because they don't play my stuff. Then I said, well, Frankie's in there. I know Frankie. I'll give Frankie 3 pieces.
Yep.
So there it was. Now, we were talking before. So many people were talking about something that was alluded to before. And I want to try to explain something because I grew up in this, and I know what they're talking about. A lot of people have said this, and I'm going to write more about it in the book. Everybody's got a book coming out nowadays. I hate to say that, but sometimes people have told me you should write it down because you were a part of this. When I first started in the business, it was a camaraderie. One of the things I hate now is that these young men, and I said this before, are angry with each other. I mean, we used to posture ourselves, and I used to come on the air and say that I was better than anybody else, but I never put anybody else down. I would just build myself up, and I would never, and what I hear now, I would never call my fellow DJs, and you can see the respect I have for them, and never call Hank or Eddie or Rocky, Jocko, or any of those guys that I looked up to a sucker MC. First of all, that's antagonistic. Somebody, you say that they've got daughters, sons, relatives, whoever it is, they get mad at you because they're trying to do it and you're calling them sucker. But I know that's what's happening in the world, in this business now. I hate to see that there is between East Coast and West Coast. They say it's no rival, but yet and still I live in both places and I hear the difference. Hear the hip-hop station in L.A., I hear the hip-hop station in New York, and it's altogether different. It's different kinds of music, and there is an air of resentment for East Coast rappers and the West Coast. No matter what they say, I know it is. I hear it. I hear the jocks talking, and it's that way. However, when I was coming into the business, from the promotion people, from the artist would see you and the artist would buy you a drink or would send you a turkey or would do something. There would be something in his hand that he would give to you, no matter what it was. It wasn't for playing. It's just, hey, man, I'm making it. You should do it, too, because you're a part of it. I want you to have whatever you're going to have. If we found out that there was one disc jockey who was having a hard time, couldn't pay his rent, somebody got together, we all got together, and we put some money to pay the rent. Somebody went to the hospital, we took care of that. There was a camaraderie there. there was things that was going on. I guess it was happening because you'd heard about it. I knew that there was a guy that they talked about earlier today, that some record company put a pool in his backyard for that. And he said he never recovered from that. Never happened with me. These things were going on. I used to go and you would go to an artist, and the artist was performing, and artists would pay you, even if you weren't in that city, just to go up on the stage and introduce somebody and give you something. He'd give you, and it wasn't a lot, maybe $50, $100 for going up saying hello, but you had that feeling that everybody was a part, because people weren't, no matter what you hear about these radio stations, they weren't playing the music that WWRL was playing. I was here. I know where the music came from. When you listen, you see all these movies, and they got all the Motown stuff in it, the Wilson Pickett stuff. You got James Brown. James Brown must be on about 15 commercials with the song I Feel Good. They weren't playing that stuff. That is totally BS. I sat over here with Rocky and with Eddie and with Sonny and with Lonnie and with Hal Atkins and all these brothers that you're talking about. We played this music, and they would not play it. It was off limits. When I went to another radio station to work, they would play 5 records by black artists, and when I say, hey, there's somebody else that can, there's another record, the program director flatly told me, we don't want to confuse the people, we don't want to play. We got 5 records on by black artists, we aren't playing anymore. So we took it personal, that this was good music, that these people were great artists, and they were great talents, and we pushed their records. So when you'd walk around in this community, people would look out for each other. It wasn't that they were paying you to do it. That was going on. In the 70s, when all this thing came down, the big indictments and everything, is because some artists was when cocaine was rampant and everything was happening, and some artists was getting cocaine. And that bust in the papers that some record company was giving the artist cocaine, yada, yada, yada. I'm number one. Who they gonna come for? It came from me. Ask me what was going on. I don't know about it. And first of all, how do I know what you snorting unless I'm snorting it with you? So I'm not about to say anything on anybody, because I know what cross-examination is. Did so-and-so, did DJ A, did artist A take cocaine? Yes. The next guy comes, how did you know it was that? Oh, you must have been doing it with him, and now you're discredited. So I said, look, I don't know anything about it. I don't do it. I don't know anything about it. If it's happening, it's happening. The guy told me, he said, you're not a target, but if you don't tell us what's going on, you will be a target. Out of everybody in the whole record business, white and black, I'm the only one that went up there and faced it and went through it. And then when they accused me, it was all on the front page. They had me locked away and gone. When it was over and I was exonerated, it was a little bit buried in the paper somewhere, and that was it. If you look at Hank Knows and all these other disc jockeys and all about, we were a little piece of the pie. Yeah. If it was going on, why come after the little guy when the big guy is still got some money? And there's a big guy out there that hit the Fortune 500 when Berry Gordy hit it. And when you get the Fortune 500, you got to have, like, they both had $80 million. Now, this guy was the DJ that murdered himself up, and Berry Gordy was $80 million, had a record company. You figure it out. Yeah. There's a business being done out there.
Hank Spann, we won't go through the whole thing, but I remember an outrageous allegation in the trade press about Hank. And when Hank is fully exonerated, I think maybe the guy who wrote that column, Hank, he got fired.
I believe he did.
But they didn't.
Should have.
But they didn't print the retraction, though.
They said they did, but you know, I understand.
They put it in the back, Hank.
Yeah.
Because see, all these guys want, most of them, and hey, I know everybody's got their job, but they need headlines. They spend a lot of money. And you know, when I was going through that, what was happening then, I was number one, and you don't get to be number one by taking and playing bad records.
No, you got to play hits.
You got to play the records, and that's what it was. So
I want to ask both of you.
But you know what it did, Hank? It put me on Front Street. When I came back, I was number one in the general market with a radio station and my show. God works in mysterious ways. Things happen to you for a reason.
That's true.
I want to talk a little bit about some of the artists. RL is playing the music from the 70s. We go back a little bit into the 60s, and depending on who it is, we go back all the way as far as necessary for some of the classics. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the people that were, when you say you had to play the hits, if you remember some of the people, Hank, that you were playing, and some of them, as Frankie said earlier, like Chuck Jackson, some of them are still around and still viable.
Oh, well, you know, Bob, one of the things about viability of an artist, when you think of classical music and you think of playing classical music from the 1700s and stuff like that they're still playing now, well, this kind of music is always going to be classical. When you're playing music of the Shy Lights, whose unfortunate situation with his wife happened right after he did a show, I think, for you guys, Bob. My heart goes out to him. You know, you had the Dramatics and Ray Goodman and Brown, the Moments, all those kinds of people, Chuck Jackson, James Brown, all that kind of music, the Spinners, local artists that really got hot in New York, BT Express, Mass Construction, and Crown Heights Affair. So many artists whose music that you hear in samples of current records now. And that's basically how records are put together. You reach back and get a bass line or a sample of this from this particular record that was hot. You know, it's only a testament to the viability of those artists that we played during that time.
Let me just say this. We've got a lot of people who are on the phones, a lot of people who want to say hello, and I want to give them a chance to do that. 718-899-7711. I remember a Frankie Crocker poster of Frankie on a couch.
Yeah, there you go.
Can we talk about that poster in 1 minute, or will it take longer than that?
No, it doesn't take any minute. It'll take less than a minute.
Okay.
Burt Reynolds did it.
Right.
Right? Burt Reynolds did it. I was trying to get some sort of buzz going about me and WBLS at the time. And so I was an amateur photographer. I had this leather sofa. So I said, I want to do it. But I was too embarrassed and too ashamed to let anybody photograph me. So I set up the camera on a tripod, lit it myself, did the picture, and someone at the time said, oh, the station's going hot, you're doing good. You have any picture that might, you know, we want to put it on the buses? So I said, yeah, here it is. And it was a spoof on what he did, and I'm laying out there all of about 140-some pounds at 6'2", but I was ripped. And when I looked at it, I said, this is going to do it. I'll just open myself and do it. That's how it happened.
Hank Spann is about to leave us. Hank, the closing, can we do that?
Let's do that.
And we need some music to do it?
Yay.
All right.
This is going to do it for this edition of The Service Mission. Until I return to Burn the next time, remember, be nice to somebody short. You'll never know when somebody short might have to be nice to you. I've got to take 2 steps to the rear and get out of here. I'm in the wind, New York. Later.
I'm going to give you a chance to say hello to Frankie Crocker. He's on your radio. He's on your telephone at 718-899-7711. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, my name is Faye Timmons. I'm an old-time listener, and I like to say that I miss you guys, and I want to say hi to Hank Spann, but he left. But congratulations to all the work you guys done, and keep kicking the music that you're playing.
All right, thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Everybody keep in mind, we've got a lot more people coming. Jocko's going to be with us shortly. A lot of the RL alumni.
Eat tiddly-ock, this
there you
is
go.
the Jack saying, ooh, poopa-doo, how do you do?
There you go.
All right, I remember that. I met him, but when I came here, he was on tape. But I had heard about him and his rocket ship show and his television show. He was like the first, I think, black DJ to have a TV show that was nationally televised. And when you're a kid, you heard about that, and you just thought that was great. Of course, anytime we saw anybody black on TV,
used to call people up.
Used to call people and say, yeah, hey, there's somebody on, so you check it out. But when I first came here, I asked him to do what we call a drop for me, so he would endorse my show. And he was nice enough to, I said, Mr. Jocko, he says, call me Jocko, son. Would you please do something to say, Jocko, Frankie Crocker, put it on together? And he did it for me. And that was really great to see an idol that you have like that and do it. All these guys that helped me, man, I'm eternally grateful to them.
And it made for some magical radio. And what you do at WWRL every day is relive the magic. We've got 100% pure soul. Bobby J is going to be here later on. Gary Bird will be here. Jeff Troy, Enoch Gregory. We've got a number of other people.
The Dixie Drifters.
Absolutely. Lloyd Price is going to be here. A lot of folks coming by.
Mr.
Ray Goodman and Brown. The Moments, that's right. We said we want to do this thing about personality radio, but you got to have Mr. Personality. And he's got his own really fascinating stories about radio from the performer's perspective, and him bringing records to RL. And they used to, I'll let Lloyd tell some of these stories. He had his own record company, production company, and he was telling me that they used to buy blocks of time And that whole half hour would be brought to you by WWRL Records. It was an interesting time. We'll talk about that. It's one way to make sure they play your record legally, if that would be legal nowadays. But you can say hello to Frankie Crocker. He's on your phone at 718-899-7711. Hello, you're on the air.
Bob, how you doing? This is Carl Redding.
Carl Redding.
I've been waiting.
Carl Redding.
I'm not going to say how long I've been waiting.
Sounds familiar.
I bet you I do sound familiar. But I think that Dr. Crocker is worth waiting to talk to, especially during this time when you're having all of the legendary disc jockeys on the air today.
Well, thank you very much.
And I just wanted to say to you, Dr. Crocker, Chief Rocker, that you have been an inspiration in a lot of young brothers like myself lives, especially, with us growing up listening to you on the other station. We have grown to aspire to higher heights because of you. You've always been that smooth person that we've always listened to on the radio, and you've always displayed that charisma and that character that most people would want to aspire to. And I just wanted to say that to you on there. And because of where I am today, I have listened to you over the years, and I think that you have been very instrumental in me getting to where I am today.
To know that I've had any effect positive like that on anybody's life is really something that I'm very happy to hear. And it's something that I don't think there can be any better compliment than someone saying that you had a positive effect on their lives. And I've had, there's a young man who is working here at the station as an intern who really wanted to ask me a question on the air, and I didn't want to tell him to go over and fake a call, but he was asking me how I felt about lyrics of music today and the choice of words, that it's really real and that's their reality. The N-word, the B-word, all those things that are in records. I think that when I was younger, and it's all from being brought up a certain way, there were two things I learned. And when people talk about you being cool and being eloquent or doing whatever you do on the radio and being smooth, I was first taught that profanity was the attempt of a feeble mind to express itself forcibly. The other one was profanity was the crutch of the grammatically crippled. And what that told me is that you can get your point across without saying all those words, and people will understand you. And you do it in a certain way that'll have a better effect. The only thing you gain about cursing someone out is that a smart person knows what hurts you, because that's your reality. And when you call somebody else that name, that means that they wouldn't want to be called it themselves, and that their reality is that it means bad to them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's correct.
I hear it. I know it's real out there, and I hear when they say keeping it real. I appreciate the music that these young people are making, the things that's coming out, the beats, whatever they do, they give props to everybody. I just wish in my heart that somehow, some way, they would stop calling names, especially the N-word, to one another, when I know that my parents and foreparents lived in a real world as well, and they didn't have half as many opportunities as there are now. And if anyone said, well, it's bad in the hood or where I come from, hey man, it was bad getting out of slavery.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
So my grandparents and great-grandparents had it worse than anybody here. They couldn't go to a Burger King or a McDonald's and the Mickey D's, someplace where young people don't want to go today. I worked, and they're going to sound like an old person that says, hey, I used to walk 10 miles to school, I used to do this in the snow and do all that. All that's true, man, and it's your reality today. Whether you have to walk 5 miles to go someplace, whatever you want to do, the race is not always won by the swift. Sometimes it takes time to get there. The society we live in now, you want to drive up, get a meal, Happy Meal, 55, whatever it is, have it. Everything is, you want it right away. It has to happen right away.
That's right.
You can work for it, and you can make it in 20 years from now and do that. So if anything I can do whenever, I'm going to play the music. I'm going to talk about it, and I just want them to think about it because I don't want them to kill each other, don't want them to be angry with each other, because when I get into it, they seem like they're angry with each other, and it's just killing us. I would like to see the big rap shows like the big rock shows where they go out and tour and all of them come back with $65 million in their pocket. That's the power. The unity is the power, and if we let it go any other way, it ain't going to happen. It's going to die. People are going to get tired of it. It's going to shut down, and you'll be, remember back in the day when there used to be rap, used to be hip-hop, all that money's gone. And the rappers know I'm talking about now. They cannot go to the big arenas.
That's true.
Because they can't get insurance, because violence was happening, and a lot of them are promoting it, not knowingly, not forcibly, but you got to stop and think about it, that you got a toehold in there, you got a piece of the pie, protect it.
That's right.
We'll come right back. We've got Frankie Crocker with us to the top of the hour, and we've got some of the Frankie Crocker Show that we want to be sure to get in. Stay close to your radio.
Reliving the magic of 100% pure soul. Right here on 1600 WWRL.
Here, Frankie Crocker, Rocky Bridges, my old production manager, and Bob Law.
There you go.
And they've asked to do a part of the Frankie Crocker Show, and if I can recreate it, I want to do it. Eddie talked about the studio and the candles and what happened. When I came into the studio, everybody was out. It was just me. I'd light some candles, dim the lights, and that's what was happening. And when I was here, it was at 6 o'clock. And it would start. I went over to Rocky. I said, Rocky, I need something. I need someone to bring the voice into this. And Rocky put this together. So we're going to give you about 10 minutes of the Frankie Crocker Show from about 1967 at 6 o'clock on WWRL.
This is your love, man.
Suck it to me, mama. How can you lose with the stuff I use? Good evening, New York. This is the show that's bound to put more dips in your hips, more cut in your strut, and more glide in your stride. If you don't dig it, you know you got a hole in your soul, and you don't eat chicken on Sunday. Tall, tan, young, and fly. Anytime you want me, I'm your guy. You get so much with the Frankie Crocker touch. After all, how can you lose with the stuff I use? You know they call me wax paper because I rap on anything. Call me aluminum foil because the rap is so strong. When it gets good to them, they call me candy paper because the rap is definitely sweet. You know there is no other like this soul brother, tall, tan, young, and fly. Anytime you want me, baby, reach out for me, I'm your guy. Just as good for you as it is to you. I don't believe you got me to do that, Bob. But that's the way it was. This is the way it is.
Frankie Crocker is on your radio. Hello, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Good evening to you, and good evening to Mr. Crocker.
How you doing?
Okay, great. Mr. Crocker, listen, I never had a chance to meet you, but I wanted to say congratulations to you, whatever you're doing. And I get to know you was my brother always told me about Mr. Crocker, Mr. Crocker, Mr. Crocker. And I never got to meet Mr. Crocker. And I tuned into Mr. Crocker, and I found out what he was all about, and he was, your program was great. And,
do me a favor.
Yeah.
Just call me Frankie, man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's no, it's okay. I understand and respect, but you can call me Frankie.
Okay, Frankie. But anyway, so, I just think that this whole thing, but your guys getting together was terrific. And
isn't it nice?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I just called a friend of mine, told her to tune in, because I don't think this is going to happen again. And what I like to say is this, is that I hope that, I know you're on the East and West Coast, but I hope that you come back to RL, if you can fit in your schedule one day a week or whatever, man, because we need you here,
Yeah, I understand. I live in both places, but now I'm like an hour away from New York, my house upstate, but it would be nice, if they ask and something I can do and it works out, hey, it'd be my pleasure.
I appreciate it, Mr. Brown.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, yeah. Thank you for your call.
Peace.
All right, you can listen to WWRL, hear this music, hear this kind of energy every day. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Bob. I'm enjoying the program, and I'm happy to hear Frankie. And I was trying to get through to talk to AOJ because I saw the OJs on the Vibe show on Monday night, and they broke it up.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
You're on the show.
All right, you want to say hello to Frankie Crocker?
Yes.
Come on.
Hello, Frankie.
Hi, darling. What's your name?
Mary Randolph.
Where are you calling from?
Brooklyn.
Thank you, baby.
Okay.
Respect.
All right.
I enjoy you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Bob Law.
Hey.
Hey, this is the guy that talked to Eddie O.J. earlier. May I speak to my idol, Frankie Crocker?
Hey, man. How you doing?
How you doing?
All right.
Frankie, I go back with you way back, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope Bob Law will bring you and Eddie O.J. back to stay on the air.
Okay, baby.
Hey, could you do me one favor?
What?
Me and the guy was on the street the other day arguing. I told him you and Hank Spann was the one that made Soul Heaven.
No. But I tell you what I can do. They didn't make Soul Heaven, but here's what. If I can get anybody who can call and tell me who did make Soul Heaven.
Oh, the Dixie Drifters.
Wait, all right, so you blew
There
the
you
contest already, so now
All
we
right.
can't do it.
Peace.
Okay, could you play it for me?
No, we don't have that.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe he'll
But
bring
the
it with
Dixie
him.
Drifter's going to be with us a little bit later on this evening.
Okay.
And maybe he's got it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, now. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, just Winston Sanders. Say hello to Frankie.
Hey, Winston. How you doing, man?
Good.
Big
Good
ups. What's
hearing
going
you.
on?
And I appreciate what Bob Lowe is doing, just bringing you all guys back. It's just lovely.
Thank you very
Keep
much.
up the good work. Good
You
hearing
too,
your
man.
voice.
God
All
bless.
right. All right, now, thank you for calling. You can call us as well at 718-899-7711. If you want to say hello to Frankie Crocker, he's going to be with us only for a few more minutes as we move to the top of the hour. Maybe we can get in at least one more phone call. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Louise Murray, and I've been trying to reach you guys since 12 o'clock. Eddie O.J. forgot to give his famous plug for his affairs that he would announce. BYOBB. Eddie O.J.
That's right.
He did not. And I must say, thank you guys, all of you jocks, very much for helping me to raise my 9 children. I'm a singer-songwriter, African-American mother. My son and daughter, Cynthia and Chris, have worked with and for you at another station on the King-a-thon. And my son had the special privilege to work very closely with you and my daughter. And I thank you for what you've done for the youth in our community. The saying that each one teaches one is inadequate. It's each one helps one. Each one is carrying one. You guys picked them up and carried them. As I said, I'm a singer-songwriter. Bugsy took my son in, then you took him, and other people who are taking him and bringing him up through the ranks. And they're not making it easy for him. They're making him work just like you guys had to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that as a mother, because you're real gentlemen, you're real fathers in the community.
All right, now.
I must say, Mr. Law, you helped me out many a night.
All right.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, now. Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you
All
for
right.
calling.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, hello. First of all, I want to say hi to Bob because he's my neighbor, my friend, and also his wife. And I just want to say this one phrase. When Frankie Crocker wasn't on my radio wasn't really on.
Oh, darling, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, now.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
for calling.
Hello.
Hello.
I hear you back there.
Hi, how you doing?
All right.
My name is Cecilia. I live in Staten Island.
Hey, Cecilia.
Hi, Frankie. You were my love, and my mother always referred to you as hormone helper because she knew what was going on with that.
Oh, my God. You know what? Over my career, I've had several pictures of children that were conceived during my radio programs. And, I mean, it's just nice that you could connect like that and that I could do that for people, and they felt that way about what I was doing. It really makes me feel good, but thank you very much.
Okay, and before you hang up, I also know who sung Soul Heaven. That was the Dixie Drifters.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, now. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, I'd like to say hi to Frankie Crocker.
Hi, who's this?
My name is Crystal, and Frankie, I remember you on the other radio station as a teenager going to school, and I was someplace recently, and there was a saxophone player playing There I Go.
Oh, Moody's Mood, yeah.
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 Whenever I hear the song, It's not Moody's mood, it's
Frankie's
you
thing.
know? Yeah. You were fabulous.
Thank you very much, Don. I picked that up because I always liked that record, and I knew it was a total New York record, and nobody had played it, and it just fit at the end of the show. And I travel across the country, and sometimes even I go to other countries, people say, I knew it was 8 o'clock in New York when I heard that record.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
You were fabulous.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
All right, now, thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
Keep listening to WWRL.
Oh, definitely. I was at the Apollo on Sunday and just realized that when listening to the guys talk that it was back on the radio. I grew up with RL. You know, I remember it as a kid. I was too young to hang out, but I remember listening, sitting in front of the radio and just listening to it. The radio was my life.
You couldn't get out. You couldn't get out the gate, huh?
That's right.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you all.
All right.
I'm going to do my closing that Hank did. If she put it up, not right now. I'll get another call. That's like 3 minutes to do it because so many people had asked that. The other, you know, the intro that we did, Bob. I mean, you're in radio, and that thing when I did the dips in your hips and cutting your sweat. That's very hard to do. Nowadays, you don't run it yourself. You know, run the board and things. There was something you did with levels, and it's from jocks I learned. So I apologize to anybody if we didn't hit it exactly as we used to. But at that time, we would run everything ourselves and do it. It's hard to do it with somebody else feeling your energy because that was never done the same way. It was done similarly every night, but it was how you felt and how you came in. Funny thing about that, when I first came to WWRL, my mother thought I was going to Columbia Law School. All right? And I told her I had this part-time job in New York, and I came here. Now, I came here, and I started doing that dips in your hips and cutting your strut and sock it to me mama and all that stuff. So my mother came down to visit. She had never heard me do this. The last time she heard me did jazz. So, you know, the big studio over there, you had that door. Just before I was going on, I dropped the lights, I put the candles on, had my incense and everything going, and about to get sexy and do my little thing. I got in there. They put my mother in the studio, and I looked, and I couldn't stop. I was live, and I was bound to put more dips in your hips, more cut in your strut, more glide in your stride, and I'm the youngest, the baddest, the biggest, whatever I could do. And my mother looked at me, and I know, you know when your mother look at you and you've done something wrong, and she left.
Is that right?
Got on the plane and went back to Buffalo. She said, I didn't bring you up to do this. You were supposed to be going to law school, and you came in here and talking all this stuff on the radio and all that stuff. And she says now, son, compared to what they're doing now, it was all right. And afterwards, though, when I happened, and she knew I really wanted to do that, she stopped speaking to me for a couple of months because
is that right?
That's the truth.
You can only get these stories on live radio here at WWRL. We're about to run out of time. We want to do the closing.
You got it.
All right.
Hold on. Bob Law, everybody here at WWRL, you really brought back some memories from my start in radio and my beginnings here at New York, and the people here in New York have always embraced me. I can't explain how nice it is to have had the career so far that I've had in this city. I'm still not finished. I still want to do some other things, and with God's help, it'll still happen. But Bob, thank you very much for calling me and asking me to be a part of this. For Eddie, for Rocky, for Enoch, for Sonny, for Jeffrey, for Hank, for Lonnie, for King Coleman, for Frank Ward, for Rocky Bridges, for the girl, the lady who was here that used to answer the phone and became...
Barbara.
She became the music director at what time? In fact, she lived in the neighborhood, and she was an Italian lady. Norma Pinella.
Yeah.
For that, I mean, some good things from the deli on the corner where I used to get that turkey leg, and that was my lunch because I couldn't afford anything else. Thank you very much. And I say this always in parting. May each of you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. May each of you live to be 100 and me 100, but minus a day. So I'll never know that nice people like you have passed away. And don't forget, whenever Frankie Crocker isn't on your radio just isn't really on. Peace. See ya.
There I go, there I go, there I go, there I go. Pretty baby, you are the soul who snaps my control. Such a funny thing, but every time I'm near